let's be honest, this is a fairly significant stopping point. But I kind of want to press on. Damn it. Owenville. I wasn't going to do this. I was going to stop, as I've done previously, I was going to stop after doing the dungeon and go back and do it a few more times. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? No, Alice. No, definitely not. Nor the wall over there. Material's not something we use in Tual. It's closer to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. And I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location. Or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us naught. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Yeah, it's merged. The merging. Let's take a look around then. If I can at least just go down to the Aetherites. I don't want to... I feel like I don't want to go exploring without the story leading me through here specifically because it's just such a specific piece of exploration. Effective turrets. Axe beaks? This is going to be another one of those zones that's really fun to fly around. Oh, hold on. Oh, they've gone down the path as opposed to across the rail bridge. I suppose that makes sense. Music's great here as well. Every piano. I haven't seen anyone so far. I recognise the lay of the land. It's definitely Yesolani, and yet this place is unnatural in a way I've never seen before. The place is isolated by the dome, yet the skies are heavy with thunderclouds, the air oversaturated with lightning aspected ether. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Yesolani station, where the passengers disembarked. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. Yeah, just some indication, because if the passengers are still there, they will have been there when the dome appeared. You know, did they see all of this stuff appear around them as worlds merged? Or is there more going on? Doesn't look like there's anybody here, does it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Yesolani Station. But from the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. Not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. Aetherites of Tuali design. It's fallen into total disrepair, almost as if it hasn't been used in decades. So have we travelled to a different time? The building is a rotting husk. It has clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Yeah, it looks like we've got some timey-wimey shenanigans. Amidst enormous alien structures, we have more familiar sights like this station. including some ether currents. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. This is a water tower for trains, isn't it? I wonder... if Zoralja went forward in time and has since come back with his military might and captured part of... No, that doesn't make... Why have they brought Kryl back? Very, very interesting indeed. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. Is that a... It's a soldier. One of the... Oh, they haven't been... The people have been turned into them. Because they talked about soul stuff, didn't they? The site's present confirms this is indeed Zoralja's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So all evidence suggests that this is Yasolani Station. Aye. And I've no doubt we're in Yasolani. But I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. Unless it absorbed all of the Chronos energy to... They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash... If I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? Yes. We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects, they are similar to one another, but in others, wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yasolani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions. But if Erenville says this is Yasolani, then it must be. The village is a little further along, right? Erenville? Huh? Yeah, short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next, then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. Oh. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning. Cute face. Doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Confirm. Confirm. Seems it's broken after all. This is too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Those lightning rods. Yep. Would you accompany for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. Alright, that's a big ass sign, isn't it? I was hoping we'd be able to interact with it. We're going down. Aha, what are you up to? Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rod. Take a closer look. Fancy lightning effect, isn't it? So they're using these to absorb the lightning, and they are kind of passing it along the wires as power lines. This material appears to be the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes, these. I suspect they're not merely decorative. I'd posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Stola for a blessing. The dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. But if the link pearls are working... Poor Erenville. No sign of anyone. This is Erenville's village. Stay vigilant. Oh, Erenville. What in the world? Yeah, the fact that it's called Heritage Found implies the people from the future that are coming back to find where they came from. Their heritage. This has been gone for decades. Oh dear. More of those weird soldiers. I assume that's his house.
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Nope. I'm confused.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone?
Oh, you! You're the girl that we saw in the city. She's shiny.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows.
You're not supposed to be out and about.
Sorolcha has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolcha?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
Okay, so this is where the FF9 thing comes in then.
I am Sphene, the Queen of
Sphene?
Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
King of Resolve.
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Huh.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tulihiola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Alexandria.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power.
So I assume these are from the 9th. No, I don't know actually. I don't know which of the reflections we've still got going.
So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know.
Give me more details.
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
So they've been bubbled
Does this
off.
remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first.
Yeah.
Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience.
Yeah.
Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
Correct.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
Need to go and help him. He's been our guide for this entire thing.
Ah, you're right.
And he is hurting.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zeralja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolo.
So he alone is to blame.
Well,
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
and yet, randomly, so bizarrely, we are back in the same kind of state that we've been in each stage of this game. Going to a new place, learning about its peoples, coming to common ground, and, you know, it just so happens that this one is really, really different in comparison. Displaced in time and potentially space.
Wonderful. If you would follow me.
Isn't it a little odd for the Queen to be walking around on her lonesome? I wonder if Justinian's found his way. Oh no, he's
Is that concern or suspicion?
both.
If things should take a turn for the worse,
She's got some magical power armor.
might I call upon your aid?
Oh, okay.
I jest, of course. But you do strike me as the most capable here.
Wow, that's a bit of a burn for the others, isn't it? I mean, she's not wrong, but there's something unsettlingly upbeat about her. It's a little bit uncanny, slightly off. And Alizé seems to share the same. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to just like that. We're not going. That's why I misread it. We're not going to trust her just like that. Any way you look at it, the mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. Creamy hot chocolates. The 8th Umbral Calamity has been added to the Unending Codex. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the Outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about Sphene as well. Queen Sphene. Of Alexandria. I suspect it is no mere Old House. I suspect it's no mere coincidence that this has got a very Wakanda feel to it, and Alexandria, Wakanda, you know, it's not massively dissimilar in terms of naming. I'm relieved to see the people here as well, at least. What people? A most unusual farm, but the produce appears normal enough. Have you ever seen such strange contraptions? I wonder what this one is used for. Watering the crops. Well, Clemat, you can see it. It's a giant sprinkler. Those brick buildings. I've seen their like before, but I cannot remember where. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tuval? They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming which they wanted to continue employing. The environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough lights. Thankfully, the use of electropy has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. Electro what? Electropy. It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. Topic for another time, perhaps. If you'd follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts. So, not Magitech. Something different. Actual people. What do those buildings look like? They look vaguely like the buildings in Amarang. It's fascinating how they've combined traditional bricklaying with electricity-based engineering. Curious blending of two cultures. I'll admit, I've seen nothing particularly suspicious. Yet. Rather lively settlement, isn't it? In defiance of the ceaseless gloom, almost. It's a relief to see the people here are well. Hopefully the same can be said for everyone in Yasolane. This is the Tanawatwan village, or at least it was, before the dome and these strange contraptions. This all creates the question of, why was Kryl sent through the gates? I suspect she will end up to be somebody of importance. You know, the parents who sent her looked well off, so...
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Remixes of the Alexandria music from FF9. And they've all got focuses on.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
What is your accent?
The Queen has come!
More to this, yes.
You look well, Paquine. And Catonia, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Me?
People person.
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
Something very off about this.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Is this all a facade, a puppet show? Not that I'm a suspicious type.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
This feels too easy.
Rumors of a link to the outside are true then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young.
Time shifty shenanigans?
Oh, where are my manners? I am Papone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Pepone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years?
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago.
Ah.
Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
So is time progressing?
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
So he thought his dad would already have died. Yeah.
Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Do you suppose time is still passing faster in here? Probably not now we've breached it, I would think.
I was able to make contact with Y'shtola not long ago via link pearl, so that shouldn't be cause for concern.
Yeah, so now the barrier's been breached, we should be okay. But
based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sveen, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria,
she's
then.
too nice. I don't trust people that are that nice. I know this says more about me than it does of the character. I understand this. I'm very, very intrigued. I love time travel stories, and I love...
I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasulani.
And I love alternate dimensionally stuff as well. It's why I like Shadowbringers so much, because we went to a different, and it's why I like the Void stuff as well, even though apparently a lot of people didn't like the 6.x stuff, because I find that really fun. So this is right up my alley.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living.
I want to know more about the things on your heads.
Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, The use of electro-fueled technologies has led to
Electrope.
countless agricultural innovations.
Not electropy.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
It's interesting. She kind of strikes me as a little bit like Wuklamat did at the start. Just that little bit naive.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care.
Yeah, they sound like they've got the Erenville-Wuklamat relationship.
We can begin the tour.
And the people love her.
I can't say that I trust her yet,
No, I don't trust her.
but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Yes. See, that little detail of her walking back up the steps and turning. It's just a character moment. Did I attune to this? I did not. Forecast terminal as opposed to a Skywatcher. Gemstone trader. This is not going to be. Best further through the story. What's this? This is the. Oh, we can try on what the maiming gear looks like. While we're okay. I think it's just a gold version, isn't it? Of the Mad Max stuff. Different helmet though. Well, if you wanted some leathers, definitely got some leathers here. This whole place is a series of very stark contrasts, and this music is included. You know, we've got the music it's almost like it doesn't fit with what we are seeing. Going farmlands with the queen of another nation is not how I expected to spend my day. Electrop has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. We went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. In mutual respect, understanding and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. I'm sure there is much you wish to learn as well, so please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'm going to have to stop. I'm going to have to stop, because otherwise I'm going to get to a stage where I'm going to start yawning. I can feel myself flagging. You might not be able to tell because I'm quite hyped for this. It's quite cool. But I've done a lot of recording today, and I need to go and reorganise my footage and make sure I've got space sorted. And this has been really cool. This has been really cool. Oh, that was all we needed to do, I think, for the gemstone trainer. Let's go and unlock that. Okay. Yeah, nothing exciting there yet. We have to do more fates. Everkeep Ward. Archeo Alexandria. Electrop Strike. License to Dill. Yes, everything is very, very... And I'm noting that there's a very specific line down here. I'm assuming this is the high-tech side, and this is the low-tech side. Can we see a wall? Yeah, the wall's up and over there. So we're going to have a zone of two halves again, but rather than elevation, we've got technology separating them. This whole section has been very, very... It's been very Amarot in terms of its have this out of left field stuff. I bet you that there will be people that hate this. Because there's always going to be. You know, there are people for whom that this will probably be a turn off. It's like, oh, it's another Allegan style thing. It's another big technology place. It's like, I don't think that's the vibe that they're going for with Sphene, at least. Huh. Of course, this. When you think of Alexandria, you also, if you've played FF9, you think of Alexander, the summon, the castle. Obviously, we've already seen Alexander in FF14, but of course, when you think of Alexandria, you think of holy, you think of white. So for everything to be so purple and technological, and yet mishmashed, it's a really weird vibe. Frankly, this is just a really weird vibe. I really like it, but it feels weird. More next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this section. Join me for more next time when hopefully a little bit more awake, because as I said, I'm starting to flag. Hopefully the revelations and just coolness will keep on coming. Keeping in mind that we've just made it to the level 97 stuff. Just about. So we've still got a chunk left to go. Dawntrail. Doing well for me. How it's doing for other people, let me know. What were your thoughts when you got to this bit? So, slight snag in the plan. I use the word plan loosely because, of course, I didn't have a plan. If you've stuck with the series this long, you'll know that because I mentioned it in the very first episode. The rather delightful glamour for the level 97 dungeon took me about the maximum number of tries to get. I got very, very unlucky with the coffers. So I had to rely on the end of dungeon guaranteed item. Which is fine. But unfortunately, it means that the Reaper is actually, and somewhat coincidentally, the very dungeon run, in fact, the very final thing, the very final boss that I defeated to get me to 100 was the end of that dungeon. So I can't do more MSQ on Reaper unless I want to waste XP, and I never want to waste XP. Which means that whilst I might do the dungeon at 97, at 99 on Reaper, potentially, it looks like we'll be Dark Knighting it. Because we're just into 97 and we've got very little in the way of rested XP. So in theory, oh, got the mask on. So, nah. Let's get rid of that. So, yeah, it looks like we're Dark Knighting it for the rest of the playthrough. I haven't got anything else either that's vaguely caught up. I might have a faff with that outside of this leveling time, or outside of this MSQ recorded time. I can't play any of the healers yet because I'm waiting for things to be updated. I'm not a very good healer. So, yeah, we're carrying on with the MSQ as a Dirk. Which is fine, because I like my Dirk. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sven, a day in the life. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. Yuppie's Halo, it's called. We can speak to one of the farmers when we arrive. I guess we're off to Yuppie's Halo. Hunter passing exams. I'm very intrigued. I've actually developed no theories overnight. You know, since I finished recording the last bit, I've had plenty of time to think about what could be going on here. But for right now, it's like face value is what we got, I think. Here we are. I'm sure you'll learn a great deal from the workers here. What do you suppose they keep inside this building? I meant to look back at the footage of the attack and see what her facial expression was like. Allow me to introduce you to Mahusa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Queen Sven, what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I'm come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's all right. Ah, so the rumours of visitors from the outside were true. Beyond the Thunderdome. Thus the Mad Max thing, it all makes sense now. This is the Thunderdome, literally. What manner of hosts would we be to deny them a look around? I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You know me too well, Mahusa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare and perhaps pepper them with a few questions. I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. It would appear we have a permission, so please, walk the grounds to your heart's content. I noticed that her outfit has got a lot of writing on it. You go on ahead, I'll keep Sven company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? Fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wooklemat's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. They are very much setting her up to be a little bit too good to be true. What is this outfit? I got stuff. Yeah, I'm not necessarily a naturally suspicious person. I can be a bit on the old pessimistic side, but there's just something about her that's... Maybe it is just me, or maybe she is being deliberately set up to be being a little bit too good to be true. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source, huh? You wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields, mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soils fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the field. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and the sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't know much about farming. So this is all new to them. Is their world dying through an overabundance of electrical ether? Because isn't electricity opposed or lightning opposed to Earth? And therefore the Earth might not be in a good condition. Maybe that's why they are. Maybe that's why they've agreed to help. I'm being a conspiracy theorist now, aren't I? I'm becoming the thing that I most dislike. Ugh. Oh, now I feel dirty. I hate conspiracy theories. No, I don't. I like conspiracy theories. I hate the overly exuberant conspiracy theorists that believe that everything is gospel and you try and reason with them and no. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then? Nod. Yes, I am from beyond the Thunderdome. As soon as I've realised that, I'm going to be insufferable. Well, this is the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering aside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complained about how Alexandrian technology and electrope, it was electrope, wasn't it, complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Like my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. These things aren't mind control-y, are they? They have dodos! Keep away. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? I assume we're going to be able to get one of these focus thingies. So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Juppie's Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy. You have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. I hope this is all on the level. I also hope we can find Owenville's family. It's a shame Kona's not here to see all these bizarre contraptions. Yes. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers, and that was returned to Mahusa. To be honest, I would have liked to find out more, but you know, the pacing has generally been very good so far, so I assume we will get more. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? I was amazed that everyone loves their work. A curious observation. Do you not love your own work? But I jest. It's true that the people of the outskirts seem the most fulfilled. Always they take to their duties with good cheer. What did you think of our little tour, Lamity? Did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies, I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. The machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment. It's amazing. Never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. Been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. But simply, it's taken in water that has a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have been charged up with the energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it if you'd like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it's much too dangerous. It's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tuliolal. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Demajen is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. That is a Eorzean script, isn't it? On her little chest plate thing. I'm not being a perv or anything. I just realised how that looked. Like, what's he looking at? Very well. I gratefully accept, but please take all care. Yes, I'm all about taking care. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charged fiends on our own. Good hunting. Nod. Yes. Wuklemat being Wuklemats. Helping out the enemy. She's taken a chunk of stuff at face value, which I'm trying to do and failing miserably, it has to be said. I sense a hostile presence. Thunder spirits. So these are essentially elementals from the plane of lightning. That's not really how it works, is it? Yeah. See, their society doesn't appear to be one that is escaping some kind of calamity. Doesn't appear to be, but it doesn't mean they're not. I may swap out, actually, to Reaper for anything that's obviously combat related, because it tends to be a chunk faster. I don't have as much that requires my concentration on on the tank. That was very straightforward, anyway. Yes, I'm waiting for signs of something to slip. Just tells you something about me, doesn't it? Oh, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends, they're all gone now. Of course I was worried, you're my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this we won't have to ask Zavaljar's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, like Queen Sveen. That's enough, Mahusa. If you have grievances, I will hear them later. What to speak of the king now? No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favoured us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course. You're my precious family, all of you. You seem like a good sports fiend, I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? It might just be me. It might just be me that has the issue. But my apologies for laughing earlier. Your friend painted an image so far removed from the sphere we know, I couldn't help myself. Zoology, you bastard. On the cloud. Sphene would take you back to the outskirts. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. The whole cloud thing, of course, ties in quite nicely with the ideas of artificial intelligence and computers, but also the thunder. It's a very natural blend of ideas. Something's got to go down here, though. There's so much of Alexandria I'd love to show you. I think part of the issue, actually, is that I've just got the FF9 version of Alexandria in my head. FF9 is quite high in my list of favourite Final Fantasy games. I don't talk about it much because I know, or I've heard, that it's not actually particularly well liked. I don't know why, but Vivi's story especially was one that I really, really liked. You know, the revelations towards the end about Zidane and Kuja and so on and so forth. Steiner's stuff as well with the the thingy of the guard. What's her face? Can't remember off the top of my head. It's been oh god, how long's it been since I last played FF9? It's been a long time, but you know, all the stuff with Garnet and Zidane, I absolutely adored. You know, I looked past the slightly weird character models. I think I played 9 before I played 7. How'd you scale in? Obviously 8 I played first, so that was my first Final Fantasy. But I played 4 and 6 and I think 9 before I played 7, all the way through. So yeah, FF9 has some really, really good music. Some of Uematsu's best, in my opinion. Anyway, let's not. But yeah, my point was, Alexandria for me has a very specific look to it, and this obviously is very different. Do you hear that? No? No, I don't. What's going on?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
Oh? Is she an AI robot thing? A puppet queen?
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
Oh, is somebody about to die?
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
She's got the bracelet on.
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
So she came in on the train and got caught. But at least she survived. But it's been 30 years.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me. Wuklamat.
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
Soul cells.
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, so this is where the slightly iffy thing comes in.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end.
They upload them to a big computer. Again, I'm conspiracy theorying, aren't I?
Be not afraid. Your memory will live on. In us.
Ah, the Yokoi's philosophy on stuff. Did they get that from seeing a glimpse of this other world?
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Yeah, but maybe they're actually uploading her to a giant AI computer, so she will live on in memory.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible.
She hoped.
I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
And she's just lost her father, so...
Let us give them some time alone.
See, if she wasn't on the level, she would have refused here, because it would give Wuklamar opportunity to. No, it would give Namika some time to say what's really going on. So, so they're taking her to a facility to help her be put to rest, I guess.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps.
It's not the end. The idea of soul cells, they harvest the souls of the dying and use them to sustain themselves.
Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time.
Yeah.
Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
Yeah. What if it's not?
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a void gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression.
Dimensional compression? Time compression?
Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
Do they know the Asians?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm.
Oh, so they are potentially survivors of...
The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
Noxious?
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know the word. Noxious. Noxious, harmful, or poisonous.
In other words, Sphyn's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
They have been inside a giant dome for hundreds of years.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder.
It's again, conspiracy theory Demajen. It's almost like she's struggling to, I don't know, rebel against programming or something. It just sounds like she's not quite equipped to deal with this, and not in the I don't understand what's going on way. It's almost like she's You know, an AI puppeted figurehead or something. I don't know.
Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs.
Solution 9. So the solution, it's a solution to the fact that their world has become toxic.
Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zeraljar resides.
That's probably for the best.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zeraljar do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zeraljar's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount.
That's very diplomatic.
I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I am afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
Huh. It's weird. Sometimes she speaks so very plainly, and other times she is...
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep anyway.
Yes. These focusy things.
Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
Aha. The plot thickens.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud.
Ah.
Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
Okay. So this is where the more sinister things... Yeah, so I was right about it being a big supercomputery thing and that they were being uploaded on death. That is very unsettling. See how it is with other people. As far as I could tell, Pepperwin generally had no recollection of Namika. I've neither seen nor heard of anything like this before. What's going on? How could Pepperwin suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. Would the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetherites. Yes, so is this a method of keeping them happy? The people happy? No woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry, it couldn't be of help. Yeah, nobody's going to be able to remember her. I do recall caring for someone until recently. And you say that it was a woman named Namika? Well, I can't say for certain if it was her. I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. So this is a natural and accepted way of life for them. Unless their memories and emotions are being taken as well. What's that? Do I know a Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked in the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I'd remember. Yeah, the idea of them living on in memory, if nobody can remember them, it's a kind of subversion of the whole point, isn't it? You know, if people will live on as long as you remember them and everybody forgets... So, it's the same for everyone. Everyone who's got one of the things on. Not a single person remembers Namika. As if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepperburn seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed. If we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kashua. I've forgotten how to pronounce the name already. Kashua? Sphene said to try the Thunder Yards. Should be this direction. The Thunder Yards. What is that? Impossible. Huh? Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We better destroy it. What? It's a screen inside a bubble with... Should we give chase? Yeah! I think it understands our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Erenville, you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Looked like you've seen a ghost. Is it fashioned after some toy or something from his childhood? No. Something that he's seen before but forgotten? Oh, it's very intriguing, this whole setup. Big old mystery, and I love me a big old mystery. Especially when everything has, to an extent, seemed so very clear-cut in many ways. voice. Ah, it was the voice that he recognised. That wasn't quite clear, it has to be said. It's fine. We see you. Yeah. You found it? Oh yeah. My keen adventurer's eyes. Or maybe it's all the carrots that I eat. Because I'm over here now. The northeast. And it must be bound for the mines. Come on then. Could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. I'm really intrigued as to what the 99 dungeon is going to be now, because we've had the big techno dungeon. Are they going to have? Are we going to have a second techno dungeon? It's also interesting that we seem to be accessing Solution 9 quite late in the story. The stones in those crates, could it be turquoise? I think it's safe to assume it went into the mines. An old coal mine. It appears to be long since been abandoned, like so many other places. Is that went in here? I heard faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone. We're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. Always. There were a load of bats in here. I came in here earlier whilst I was doing some map uncovering. Well, I wasn't actually trying to uncover the map. I was trying to get the ether currents. Haven't got all of them, obviously. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. Oh, there are some bats here still. I'm not worried. We've had to improvise countless times before, after all. Device made with electrope. Seems to be the only one here. This is an illusory barrier, yes? This tunnel just keeps going. Not on the map, it doesn't. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. I can make out the conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on your guard. Now some extra part of the map uncovered. Is this a resistance effort? Found you.
What is this?
Ironville!
Hello, people.
A trap? It really is you! Huh?
Huh?
Who?
I just have to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling
Helen Ashbia.
My darling, what now?
Whoop.
Oh, good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
Explain? Fussy little bun bun.
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galul Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Ellen Espier was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope.
I think they could have done with boosting her voice volume slightly. It's a little bit quiet. Yes, it's got the weird echoey thing because, you know, reasons. Oh, very shiny today. Oh, see if I can do something about that. 1 second. Oh, it's probably because I've moved this. There we go.
I can't say that I do. You know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
Kakiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, but this won't do. Come in. Friends of my Ellen Espier are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Okay.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
Yes. At this point, I doubt anything could possibly surprise me. Hohenfeld's mother is a floating machine. Right, that makes about as much sense as everything else thus far. The elegance of machines that could be controlled remotely. Is she using something similar to communicate with us? I can't say I understand what's going on, but at least I forgot already. Oh, hello. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what's happened, I need to ask her. Yeah. Gone and forgotten. Let's hear what she has to say. We're going to get some revelations about the memory cloud thing. So wonderful to meet you all. And the students of Baldesion. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? Ah, it's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations. We're members of a resistance organisation. Oblivion, we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zoraljar's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are, though truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is... As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then, does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zoalja. But we failed to do that. And now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of them have got the head things. None of you wear those strange devices on your heads. Does that have something to do with your work? Those, in fact. You mean this? It's a regulator. The pinnacle of electro technology. That we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. It records everything, probably. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Geode. Great name. Regulators have two primary functions. Everybody's northern in my world. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Do they die a lot? Souls as a common resource and payment for services rendered. Is this a Dark Souls game? Miyazaki, did you have a hand in this? Soul of a brave warrior. The void scent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind. And similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk. Well, we've seen Guy transform into Snake. Building on the plotline from the 6.x stuff. Zeromus. Because, of course, you have to have done all this before you can start this. Doesn't it dilute your sense of self? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management? Then the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. Regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearer, so if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people by Everkeep's core system, so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Yeah, I see where they're going with this. It's a humanity, essentially. It's humane, but of course part of being human is dealing with, part of being alive rather, is dealing with being shaped by loss and grief. I get it though, you know, this ideal society, you know, where nobody feels upset or remorseful or so on and so forth. Also, it means they can't grow. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators, and an integral step in soul cell production. Ah. Oop. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. Ah, we saw that. And we know that souls are tangible things in this universe. So it's a pure soul, a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Of course, that means it doesn't return to the live stream. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. But nobody else. And this is why people are happy here? On its surface, it's similar to the Yokui's philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could so the nation could endure. Created with noble intent. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Sphene didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zoralja. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motive, she's given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That's the natural order of things. Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see, exactly? Come with me, and you'll find out. Ha! This is very interesting. Well, it's nothing that I've not seen done elsewhere with other spins, but it's nevertheless... it's a fascinating concept, isn't it? That looks like a fake. They are a resistance effort. Nostalgia. Firearms make the most sense for people who don't have combat training. That's why we salvage as many as we can from the mechanical soldiers and convert them for our use. So there's nothing else to this place. The Earthen Sky Hideout. Ooh, so is Sven in not necessarily in league with these people, but sympathetic to their... And the fact that she's given people a choice is... I'm sorry, but I just can't accept the idea of using souls as a resource. We're to see how the regulators work, but how? So those regulators are blamed for everyone forgetting Namika, forgetting what a wonderful person she was. To alter the memories of the populace with such precision is no small feat. What does she intend to show us? Everyone here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunderyard's hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Streaker, one of these hunters. Sven said we were going to go to Solution 9, but we clearly haven't got there yet, and frankly, I'm quite enjoying the kind of build-up of information that we've got going on here. Sorry guys, I have been aggroed. This strikes me as very kind of Garlean. It may even be that they've taken the kind of geometry of the kind of Garlean stations and stuff and retextured it just to give it that sense of slight familiarity but with a twist. What do you think is in this box? I'm guessing food. Focus, will come out. Judging by its name, I take it this facility is for gathering lightning energy. Let's get this over with. Streaker will show you what life can be like wearing a regulator. Given the opportunity, I should very much like to study Electrope on behalf of the students. While I am not blind to the potential benefits of these regulators, the risks inherent in giving another party the power to alter your memories cannot be overstated. Never mind the ethical considerations of using souls in such a fashion. I suppose if they were on a reflection, and that reflection had been beset with calamity, then chances are they couldn't have returned maybe to the live stream anyway, and that was part of the issue. Cassia, what are you doing here, and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on, I assume they were wearing special regulators like Queen Sven's crown, but they aren't wearing anything. Ah, she has got one. Ah, ha, 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 ha. So that's why she's been quite guarded about what she's said in places. They aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Persia said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easy for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact they're weak to lightning. The Thunderyard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? These facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, We're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. A special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. Special selection. I mean, we use soul crystals. You know, job stones. So, I brought this lot here to see the danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Oh, of course, in which case it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. She's going to demonstrate the resurrection process because she knows she's got plenty of souls stored up. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we could each slay what we can. My fussy little bun was never any good at fighting, and this body of mine isn't suited to it either. I'll leave this work in your capable hands. I'm afraid I must leave the fighting to you. I'm very intrigued. This is a fun mystery. I sense a hostile presence. Ooh, a charged bolt hound. A dead bolt hound? Oh, shoot. More enemies have joined the fray. That's one. That is one enemy. See, I'd swap over to Reaper, but I'd forget to swap back every time. I know I would, which is why I haven't done so. But equally, I don't want to use the Chocobo, because he kind of gets in the way a lot. Well, gee. I think my Chocobo's female. I don't think I ever made a decision on that. Where's the white cactus? Oh, we've got more to kill. I do love the really deep piano for this. Watch out! A Cthulhu. This one will do nicely. She's a monk, I think. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I've faced worse. Just watch. Don't like the looks of this. Let us help. Oh no! Look out! She's just going to get back up though. Save. Oh, preserve. She needs healing. Nah, she'll be fine. Reload! It's essentially re-raise, isn't it? The Cthulhu Pass is still here, you know. Why are we so surprised with this? We've seen it before. That was embarrassing. Bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. I told you not to worry. It'll only take a moment. It's got. It also gives us some fancy soul drive power or something. And whoop. Up he goes. And down. Blunk. Yeah, see, we saw Zoraljar do that. That's quite a useful little tool. But what is the cost? Just like Zoraljar. Some kind of overdrive. Come on, let's get out of here. So can they only do that post-resurrection? Is it something they can do for a very short time? That's also a function of the regulator. I mean, that means that we know that if we destroy Zoraljar, he won't be able to res, which I suspect will be a plot-related issue. We could also infect the whole lot with some kind of computer virus, but that would be unethical. I think I understand now how Zoraljar was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa. I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast? I'm reminded of the serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you crossed paths with one of the king's elites. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same, in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. But I mean, how limited a currency is this? It's not like they can create more. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls. Those of peoples and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant their user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you the strength of the chosen animal. With the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you could grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Streaker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many, and you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's form through the souls of other beings becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Sense. It's unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken. Souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal sea. Different means to achieve similar ends. I keep calling it the live stream, don't I? The ethereal sea. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. Well, the time... That's exactly what Emmett Selk said, isn't it? The civilizations in the reflections may surprise us. In fact, we're going to remember that now, aren't we? Huh? I thought we might have had a clip of Emmett there. So they're massively advanced because time there has moved at a much more accelerated rate. You know, a decade for a day, essentially. Levin speaks of lived experiences that suggest she's far older than she appears. Considering the power of these regulators, perhaps it's not so far-fetched. I've never seen it for myself, but it's said that if the beast's soul is potent enough, a single soul is enough to induce a monstrous transformation. When Emmett Silk spoke of surprising civilizations and other reflections, I wonder if he had Alexandria in mind. Having seen the beauty of the ethereal sea firsthand, I simply can't accept what they've done here in Alexandria. I understand this is part of their culture, but it's no less disconcerting. While we all have our thoughts on souls, for now the important thing is we know what powers Zorolja has at his disposal. It's one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether. To strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliolo's concern. With his newfound powers, Zorolja has become a real threat to the entire world! At time. Indeed, he has to be stopped, no matter the cost. The Void has been added to the Unending Codex. And that was apparently the end of the act. Which is a really weird place to end it, I would say. Because we can look at the main scenario, can't we? Main scenario. Yeah, so we've got 2 more after this. So that would be the end of that. Was that Act 4? Was that Act 5? No, that was Act 4. So we've got 5 and 6. The worth of a soul. It doesn't tell me the date I got these, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's actually quite a weird place argument. Well, I suppose we've got Revelations and so on and so forth. And it makes sense that it's 97. Are we on to 98? No. Embracing Oblivion is the next quest. Really liking the music in this zone. Really liking the plotting in this zone. We've had a lot of good stuff, and we've got a couple of Ether current quests and stuff to do. I'm going to go and do those now that the act has ended. Yes, very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. All the talk of souls and stuff has been... Well, it makes you consider stuff, doesn't it? It makes you consider your own ethics on, what would you do being in this situation? It's somebody else's culture, and it's not like they seem like bad people. So, where do you draw your own ethical line when it comes to that? And that's what good storytelling does. It makes you think about your own perspective on well, no, that's one of the things good storytelling does. It makes you think about your own perspectives on something. Yeah. Yeah. End of, I think, Act 4. If it's not Act 4, I'll leave a note on the screen. I've been putting my footage into folders. Can I just check this without breaking the recording? I'm just scrubbing through the previous thing where I did the dungeon and we got to Alexandria. Why did I stop here? Did I just stop here? Yeah, no, that's the end of Act 4. I stopped after I did the dungeon, didn't I? Because I wanted to go and farm up the dungeon gear. Which, may I remind us, is really fucking cool, if you'll pardon my French. The fact that we have Cyber Bunny head quite entertains me. It dies quite well, I've noticed as well. This is the kind of default look for it. But in fact, I can show you, can't I? Or at least I could do if I hadn't turned off the fact that we actually can dye it as well is also quite cool. And I like the fact that you can actually select this as well. So I could have a sleek I mean, that's very kind of Garland Ironworksy almost, isn't it? But we could go with red, or we could go with gold, or white, green, yellow, mustardy colour. That's quite a nice colour as well, as is that. The metallic ones, and that's brown, but you wouldn't really be able to tell. That's dark blue, which also looks pretty cool. But yeah, it dyes really quite well. I expect to see quite a number of people wearing this one. I strongly suspect we'll get quite a number of pink bunnies knocking around as well. But yeah, it dyes pretty well. Keeping in mind that it does dual channel as well. The second channel is just the little details, so they're not as noticeable. It's more like the kind of undergarmenty bits. But yeah, it's a cool set. It's a cool set. Ooh, that's. Right, I'm going to go do the Ether Current quest, and then we shall come back for the start of Act 5. And that interests me. I mean, I know we're only 97, so we're going to have 97 to 98, and then 90... No. Is it going to be 97 to 98, and then 98 to 100? 97 to 90... Oh, I'm not sure about that. Actually, I don't know where that break will be, but the fact that we have 2 acts of story is intriguing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed my constant theorizing and speculations regarding the state of this quest. The whole thing with Alexandria, I'm not going to say it's mind-blowing. I'm not going to say something so cliche, but this is not how I expected it to go down. You know, there were so many theories that I caught glimpses of on social media about how Solution 9 is it's an ASEAN thing. I don't think I saw anybody say, oh, it's part of one of the other reflections. Admittedly, I wasn't looking in much depth. I caught glimpses of things as I scrolled past them. Tried not to read them because I didn't want to spoil myself. But yeah, this is the whole soul regulator thing. Very, very interesting indeed. Until next time, stay safe, stay fabulous. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.